Mr. Biden, thank you for the executive orders as related to illegal immigrants. No problem. I always look out for my future fellow voters. Mr. Biden, thank you for the executive orders as related to the LGBTQ community. No problem. Always looking out for my fellow constituents. Mr. Biden, we voted for you in the largest numbers in the 2020 election. And if it wasn't for the black vote, you wouldn't have several states in major key areas. Why can't we get executive orders like the alphabet community and the illegal immigrants? Why can't you get any executive orders? Well, that's because you colored folks don't have a black agenda. You took your borders to the bowl and voted straight down a blue line without even thinking about black agenda, and that's the reason why you're not getting any executive orders. You should just be glad I'm putting Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. Get on out of here, you colored boy!
Coming to paperback and e-readers in 2021, John Haynes, Taking Care of Business. The man who rules the world breaks on a brand new partner to help him take care of business in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Taking Care of Business in 2021 at online booksellers everywhere.
The Biden administration is looking into speeding up the release of $20 bills featuring Harriet Tubman. Well, you can't say Joe Biden didn't do anything for you, black people, and now you see how little you get in exchange for your vote. Because in the first days of the Biden presidency, your Joe Biden went out of his way to sign executive orders to help out your illegal immigrants who are not even citizens of this country, and he went out of his way to help out one of the smallest demographics of minorities, the alphabet community. However, one of the largest minority communities in this country, black Americans, and foundational black Americans at that, were practically talked down to you by your Joe Biden after he won the election, and they were completely blown off after he came into office and had an opportunity to reward those black voters who went and took their booties to the polls in record numbers to get him elected. These black voters who took their booties to the polls to vote for Joe Biden got nothing more than a pimp slap from him because he didn't look to sign a single executive order for black people to bring tangible resources back to black communities and bring back black tax dollars to help out black communities. I mean, this is a complete insult when you really think about it critically, because your Joe Biden has plenty of black tax dollars to go out here and give illegal immigrants who are not citizens of this country, and he has money to help out other smaller minority groups like the alphabet community, but he doesn't have a single dollar for the largest voting bloc that went to vote for him in record numbers in 2020 and practically gave him many states that he would not have been able to get without the black vote. So many of these black voters don't understand how they have been pimp slapped, because to say you're looking into speeding up the release of a $20 bill featuring Harriet Tubman is a complete pimp slap to all of those black voters, because one, it's looking to do something, not actually doing anything that provides anything tangible in exchange for black votes and to give black tax dollars back to black people. And two, it's an empty symbolic gesture that means absolutely nothing to the black man and black woman on the street. Because what is having Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill going to do for the brothers and sisters out here when many can't get jobs in places to get that $20 bill featuring Harriet Tubman? That's the critical question I would want to ask your Joe Biden and members of the Biden administration. What good is having Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill when a man like myself cannot get a full-time job and other people out here are struggling because half the country is unemployed. What good is Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill going to do for a black person at the end of the day? This is the type of empty symbolism that many of the civil rights generation would go for, but other generations like mine and future ones, we can't continue to go for these types of empty symbolic gestures that mean absolutely nothing and don't give us anything tangible in exchange for the votes we provide in an election. Because an election is supposed to be a business transaction. It is supposed to be something where a group comes together and puts together an agenda to give the politician they choose, and it's supposed to be something that gives that politician is supposed to provide the tangibles in exchange for those votes. And this is something that many black voters don't really seem to understand, because if they understood this, they would have kept their booties at home instead of taking their booties to the poll to vote for a candidate who clearly had no interest in providing any sort of black agenda, supporting any sort of black agenda. And that was shown by the way he practically came at you with this paternalistic lift every voice program, and then blew off your Ice Cube and his failed contract with Black America. So there's no real interest in developing and supporting a black agenda, but you can't tell that to many black voters who were so caught up in their emotions about the racist and evil orange man that they went to go vote straight down a ticket without ever thinking about getting anything tangible in exchange for their votes. Most of these black voters went and voted on emotion, and because they went to vote on emotion, this is why they're getting nothing in return for those votes except contempt expressed for them by a president-elect who went and told many of these black leaders he's doing absolutely nothing for them, and now you're getting a looking into speeding up the release of a $20 bill featuring Harriet Tubman, a $20 bill many black people won't be able to get because most black men and women have a hard time finding jobs due to the discriminatory unwritten policies at many of these companies that are out here. So he's sitting there giving you Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill, but not giving you tangible policies. But many of these spellbound black folks, they are just so caught up in getting white social acceptance, they're still thinking about Kamala Harris in Chuck Taylor sneakers and pearls around her neck, and not thinking about getting tangible policies that provide for black people. And you'll get all of these guys talking about, oh, he's only been in office a couple of days, but you would think if you only got that office because of the largest black voting bloc putting you there, you would make them a priority first. Because if it wasn't for the black voting bloc, Joe Biden wouldn't have the office, and he would have gone out like Hillary Clinton did in 2016. So this contempt being expressed to the black voting bloc, I find it to be extremely dysfunctional, because if it wasn't, again, for the black voting bloc, your Joe Biden wouldn't be in office right now. And again, you would think he would be more grateful instead of thinking about providing empty symbolic gestures, because you would think these politicians would be looking at 2022 and 2024. Unfortunately, they still are taking the black vote for granted, and that's not really a smart thing to do. But they look at many of these codependent black voters who are looking for social acceptance and creating covert contracts where they're looking to get social acceptance in exchange for their vote, an intangible that is never going to be achieved, instead of doing what everybody else is doing and getting something tangible in exchange for their vote. So when I look at this empty symbolic gesture of speeding up the release, which is not even anything tangible, because this $20 bill may never come in the next 3 or 4 years, because the Fed may practically bury this whole $20 bill with Harriet Tubman. Again, this is a slap in the face to the black voter who went and took their booty to the poll in large numbers and got nothing in return for their vote, and are basically looking like the Charlie Brown voting bloc, because while other communities and other minorities are getting tangibles, your black people are getting the political equivalent of a rock in their treat bag, and they're being tricked by a politician who already told them to their face that they're not getting anything tangible. And that's why most people need to listen to new black media when they tell you no tangibles, no vote, no black agenda, no vote. Now, this video will not be monetized, so I'm asking my viewers to please donate to the Cash App or to the PayPal or the Patreon so I can continue making more videos, or pick up one of the books on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, or books in the Spencerella trilogy, or many of my men's books like The Man Crisis on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.